Good afternoon, everybody. We're here to give you an update this afternoon as to where we are regarding the police-involved shooting and certainly the shooting of our slain officer. I'm gathered here with Chief Arlinda Westbrook of the Public Integrity Bureau, and also joining us are representatives from both the federal consent decree monitoring team and our local independent police monitor organization. So immediately when notifications went out early this morning about the shooting, we knew that this was a police-involved shooting. The internal investigation was initiated because we knew that this was a police-involved shooting. Immediately we enacted our critical incident video release policy, and there are protocols for that would lead to recommendations to me about release of video. We're now following those protocols. And so last night on the scene were representatives from the consent decree monitor, from the independent police monitor. We've been in touch with our FBI representative for civil rights, who is a member of our PIB FBI task force. And so we've been in touch with the district attorney's office and U.S. attorney's office. The internal investigation has begun, and we are now following all of those protocols. We are in the process of reviewing all video, both body cam video, taser video, neighborhood video. We are in the process of analyzing that video and looking for more evidence that may be out there. So if any citizen knows of any evidence that exists or video that exists, please give us a call. We're in the process of gathering that evidence, looking for witnesses, and working this internal investigation. And so we're following all of those protocols. It is now in the hands of the Public Integrity Bureau, the Independent Police Monitor, the Consent Decree Monitor, and certainly we're following the protocols for the critical incident use of force video release policy. And there will be a recommendation to me over time about that as we analyze video, but it is predicated on the speed in which we gather and able to analyze all that evidence, look at all that video for those recommendations. So at this time, I'll turn it over to Chief Westbrook, who will give you a little bit further.
One of the things that we've already met with the FBI and all of our partners and have begun the process of looking at video. The FIT team has begun canvassing, has issued certain warrants in this case, and so we're in the very, very early stages of this investigation. We're gathering as much evidence as we can. As the chief said, we're also looking for and have requested other video that may be out there and have made those requests. We've already met with and started our process with all of our partners in the critical incident review process, and they have begun as of an hour ago looking at the video that we do have in our possession at this point. So we've started that process and we're continuing that process. It's going to be slow and methodical in some ways because we're still gathering a lot of evidence, and we will continue moving forward with updating the monitors and updating all of our independent partners as we move through the investigation. As we've always said, we have a federal task force that involves the FBI and PIB, so we walk side by side as we do a review of these incidents, and we will continue that process with this incident.
So once again, you know, we're all grieving, we're all mourning, but we are, as we have always been, a resilient police department made up of the best and the brightest that law enforcement has to offer. And it was demonstrated last night because this incident ended with a peaceful surrender of the suspect without injury and without incident. That certainly speaks to the culture of this organization now, that we are one of the most professional, competent police departments in America. And so the suspect is in custody. We do not have an update on his physical condition, but he is in custody. We'll be facing a number of charges. And so we will be meeting with all the stakeholders to make sure that the investigation is transparent, that it is thorough, and that it will go to the proper agency for review, either the U.S. and or district attorney. And we're proud of our officers. Our officers demonstrated great restraint, great courage, and great professionalism, even during a time of great mourning and grief. And so I could not be more proud of them because they put their lives on the line every day. We put them in harm's way on behalf of the citizens. They run toward the fire instead of away from it. And it is a testament to their dedication, to their courage, to their pride and professionalism that we are attacking this violent crime problem. And we're not running away from it, but we are attacking it, but we're doing it in a very constitutional and compassionate way. And so I spent a lot of time with the family early this morning. I had another pretty long conversation with Mrs. McNeil earlier today. I will be visiting with them throughout the evening and throughout the upcoming days. So I would once again ask you to keep that family in your prayers and thoughts, and certainly keep the members of this department in your prayers and thoughts while we continue to serve, while we grieve and mourn. This time we'll take questions from you.
Can you maybe just give us the timeline of events that led up to this shooting? What happened in terms of why Bridges was stopped on the street, and take us through what happened?
So we have what's called a public safety statement that we got from the officers, which is very generic, just to give us an update of what we need to know about how this thing happened and who could have been injured as a matter of public safety. We have not officially conducted formal interviews with them or their representatives. But what we know right now is that at or about 12:14 a.m., the officers were in the area of Tower Lane and Cindy Place and encountered the arrested subject. At some point, they got out of their vehicle, and when Officer McNeil exited his vehicle, what we believe happened was there was an encounter. There, after reviewing some of the video and without going into too much of the evidence, what we know is that there was an encounter, there was a struggle. At some point, that subject fired at our officer. We had officers to return fire, at least one, perhaps more, to return fire, striking that subject who fled into an apartment. We pursued him to that area, surrounded that apartment. We contained that area until our SWAT team arrived. They began negotiations, and there was a peaceful surrender several hours later. And so, without going into all of the evidence, we're in the process of reviewing quite a bit of body cam video, taser video. We're searching for neighborhood video so that we can view and analyze it as well. And that is part of the internal investigation that is underway right now.
Refer to it as routine patrol. Is it a patrol involving Tiger, Valve, any type of a task force? Since we're told that it was an unmarked vehicle.
So we do not believe that it was related to Tiger. This was a district task force officer, and because the internal investigation has just begun, we have not gotten into the specific questions because we have not officially interviewed those officers as to every single aspect of who, what, where, when, why, and how. What we know right now is that they were in that area, they encountered that subject, something rose their suspicion to stop, that's what they did. Upon exiting, we were fired upon, returned fire, and then pursued the subject into an apartment where we contained it until we had a peaceful surrender.
Can you tell us a little bit about
Officer McNeil is a 3-year veteran of the police department, served his entire time in the 7th District, well-liked, well-loved by his colleagues. They are grieving and mourning. Pretty rough right now. We've met with his family. He's been here, and from all indications was just a guy that loved doing his job, loved the New Orleans Police Department, loved working in East New Orleans, and the people who work with him are very fond of him, and they're taking it really hard right now.
Yeah, do you know what prompted them to get out of the car, what the suspect was doing that made them leave the...
We have not asked those questions of the officers yet because the investigation is fresh, and we have not been able to officially interview them. We got a public safety statement just to make sure no one else was injured, and we can find out who fired, who did not fire, as a matter of public safety, but that was the extent of the public safety statement. So we will be able to come back at the end of the investigation with all of the facts as to why the subject was stopped, what raised their level of suspicion to conduct that stop, and those are answers that will come out of the completed investigation.
the suspect is facing a number of charges? Can you identify the suspect at this point and maybe talk about his criminal past?
his name? We have his name. I can get that to you. It escapes me at the very moment, but yes, we have his name. There are a number of charges he will be faced with. That's part of the investigation right now. And certainly right now, all of our attention, all of our energy is making sure we conduct a transparent and thorough and fair investigation, but also attend to the needs of this family, because we're going to have to bury our officer in the upcoming days. His name is Darren Bridges, 30 years old.
What charges is he going to face?
Right now, it's going to be first-degree murder.
Can you confirm he's convicted felon?
I have been informed that he is a convicted felon. Yes, ma'am.
Do you know if there were two cars or one car?
I'm sorry?
Were there two cars or one car that
The
the officers were in?
officers, there were 4 officers. To my knowledge, they were in 2 separate cars. We have not received the full detailed briefing from them, but what we do believe that our officer was in one of the cars with one of the other officers. All right? Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Keep us in your prayers, please.